Okay, good morning. So I wanted to quickly go through um, TimberTracks and show you how to create a time card to start. So this is the web browser, as we talked about. You can see it's in an I use Google Chrome. I find that Google Chrome is the best web browser to use for optimizing this program and many others. Um, as compared to, say, Internet Explorer, I find Internet Explorer doesn't always work as well with it. So if you are going to use a browser, try and get Chrome or some sort of Google browser. But anyway, so this is where you would look for the web app. It's app.timbertracks.ca. And then once you get logged in with your credentials, you'll see this. So this account that I'm in right now is actually a contractor level account. So this is sort of your manager account. If you are an employee account holder, so somebody who only has time cards, no problem. All you will see is this time tab here, an admin tab, I believe, or maybe just a profile tab. In which case, to do your time cards, which will be your only real responsibility in here, you would just go to the time tab. So, and click time cards. So we are going to start here anyway for whatever account level. So you can see here we have a couple of different things going on. So up here we have links to the App Store or the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, which will allow you to download the mobile app, which is just for time cards. So for you supervisors and employees, this will be your one-stop shop for getting your TimberTracks time mobile app for your phone or your iPad or tablet, but this is where you would go. And then from there, you can see all these bars here. Well, these bars are filters, we call them. So once you start entering your time cards regularly, and say you want to go back and you want to find one from a certain day, you can put the start date in there of the range that you want to search for. Say maybe it's August 1st. Oh, there's none in there for August 1st, so let's go back to June. Oh, there's one. So you found since June 1st, this is the time card that we have in there. And you would be able to just understand where things are at in your own account. Or if you're a supervisor, you can review old stuff from an employee, etc. Another way that you can have your filters, and again, this is the clear filter button. So if you don't want it on there anymore, it doesn't go away until you press clear filters. So you could do it by project, for example, or you could do it by status. Maybe you just want to see approved stuff. That's how you would sort of slice and dice the data to find things. Now, as we move on, I'm going to click this big blue button over here in the right. It's called Add Time Cards. So this is where we would start going through and adding our time cards. So I'm going to look, and unfortunately for this account, the name of the employee is this, which is, it is what it is. So this is the name. This would be your name. From there, pick the date. So we don't want February. We want today's date, which is September. What day is it today? September 7th. Okay, and 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sure. And we're going to say this guy's a buncher operator. Cool. So we can save here and we can keep going through. I'd advise you save as frequently as possible. There are some cases where this won't be highlighted, and it's because you don't have the required information in there yet to save. Like, for example, you don't have something that distinguishes this time card from other ones in there. So either the date's different or the same, or there's just something in there that's missing that needs to be changed. So move down and we go into our projects. So depending what you're doing, you might call a project a setting, or you might call a project a block, or you might call it a road building project, but all of that falls under project. So where you're working is your project for the most part. Okay, so in here, this location tab is a simple filter. So if you have this, you may not. If you have this option on your time card, it's because your administrator has set it, and it just means that you can set a particular location, and then it will limit the number of block options you have. So it just helps you minimize the options when you're going through your time card. So in this case, I'm just going to say all for locations. I'm going to pick this block here. And then as you can see, automatically your hours section comes down there. So you're going to pick your phase, or again, also known as an activity. And we're going to pick, let's say, yarding, grapple yarding. So this is the actual grapple yarding operator. And forgive me, because I don't know which one of these is a yarder. I don't even think any of them are, but I'm going to pick this one just to pick a piece of equipment. You would select obviously the unit number you were using, and then we would enter production hours. So production hours are your working machine time. So we'll say 8 hours of machine time or production hours. Service hours 0.5, that's your greasing and whatever, 0.5. And then maintenance hours is if you break down, and on this day we didn't break down. Productive downtime, we'll say there was an hour of that because there was some stuff in yarding that you have to do to get the job done, but it's not actual machine running time. We're actually moving wood. General hours would be other things like your safety tailgate meeting or training or something like that. In this case, we can say we did a tailgate meeting for 0.25. And then, so that brings us to 9 3/4 hours. And then we can pick our crew travel vehicle. So we drove this Ford. It was 1.75 hours of travel. No, 2.5 hours of travel. And then our comment for the day was sunny and good conditions for production. And you were the driver. So this, if you do have an option as a company or as an employee to get a premium for driving, you would click your driver button. And then down at the bottom here, we also have another section for comments. So in here, you're allowed to add several different phases. So say, for example, you were doing road building that day and you're doing subgrade, you were doing some blasting, and you were doing some, I don't know, other stuff. You could have all of those different phases identified or activities identified in your time card. So we have different comments for each one of those. In addition, we have sort of an overall daily comment field. That's down here. You can set the category so that it gives your supervisor an idea of what this is about. General comment would just be like, yeah, again, sunny and good conditions. Conditions affecting production. It was super muddy. We were getting stuck. We couldn't get anything done. We were trying to bunch and it was just terrible. Equipment impairments. Breakdown. Say you need a hose for tomorrow or else you can't work, or you need more hydraulic fluid, or your machine is leaking hydraulic fluid. This is where you would note that. Safety concerns, same thing. If there's something going on out there, this is where you would note it. So I'm just going to say, again, good day. Keep it simple. So I'm going to save this again. And then from there, I'm going to put yarder operator since I did yarding today. And save again. So now, as I go through here, I accidentally got a new project in there. Just delete that, no problem. And keep looking. Looks all good, so I'm going to submit it. So now you'll see if we go back to the time card list page, we just created this for September 7th and it's yellow. So you can see the open ones are white and the yellow ones are submitted. And then, so these would go to your direct report or to your supervisor, and he would either approve it, reject it. Reject just means send it back with some feedback and tell you how to fix it. Because if you reject it, you have to send a comment. And then there's a couple other options here, and these are just for printing the PDF. So if you want to print a copy of it or have a PDF version of your time cards, you can do that. As well as this blue button here. It's only available in the web app right now for you. But if you have, say for example, you run the same piece of equipment every single day, you do pretty much the same thing all the time, you can duplicate this form here. It'll create an exact replica of what you just did. And then you can just edit your date. You can, let's say yesterday, edit your date and then fix your times and make it more representative of your day. Like if your time changed, you would just go in and say, okay, yeah, we actually did 10 hours of production today. Oh, the rest is the same. and then you would save, and it just makes it a little bit more time friendly for you if that's what you're worried about. And then we go back into our list page and you can see we have one for yesterday, we have one for today. I didn't change the hours, but you could. Okay, so then as a supervisor, your supervisor would look at this and he would validate that everything is right, and then he would approve it, and then you would get paid just like that. Okay, so I think that this is enough for now. One last thing I want to show you is under the profile tab here. This is where you can change your password. I know that we sent you that email with that gave you probably a garbledy-goop password. If you want to change it, go into the profile, change your password, and then it'll reset to whatever it is that you can remember easily. All right, if you do have questions, feel free to reach out to support@timbertracks.ca. Look forward to hearing from you. Bye.